You can make a lot of money from doing this, you guys. It is insane. I mean, I am talking millions, like millions of dollars you can make. All right, you guys, today is a fun one. We are talking about something that I don't usually talk about on my channel, but it is also very, very relevant to me and my life and what I'm going through right now. So I wanted to make a video about it. And that topic is making money through side hustles. Let me explain. At the beginning of the year, after I got laid off from my job, I honestly realized that I am always going to be disposable to a company. It doesn't matter how good you are at your job or how high up at the company you are truly just a number to them. When I got laid off, I honestly felt a little bit screwed because I didn't have any other sources of income, any other income streams or money coming in. And because of this, I decided that no matter what happens in my job search, even if I get a new job, I want to make sure that I have other sources of income flowing in just in case something like this ever happened again. And honestly, even if you never got laid off again or anything like that, you might want to take a break from work. You might want to take a leave of absence to travel or to raise your kids. And by having side hustles that you can build up over time, you could not only create extra income, but also potentially even one day completely replace your entire income with your side hustles. So today I wanted to share 10 side hustle ideas that could make you at least $6,200 a month, which honestly is not a modest amount of money. That's a pretty solid monthly income. And I'm gonna break it down into the side hustles that I have already tried since getting laid off, as well as a few that I either want to try or have heard other people having success with. And for each one, I'm gonna share what skills you might need in order to execute them, as well as give them each like a star rating with how easy they are, and also a star rating for what the potential upside is for how much money you could make. So first I'm going to start with the 5 side hustles that I have started and have tried, and then I'm going to share some other ones that I want to try. So the first one is Etsy, and I actually started my Etsy store almost like a year and a half ago now. My sister was pregnant, she was having her baby shower, and I decided to make her some like paper games and invitations and stuff like that, and like signs for her baby shower. And I just figured, if I'm making these already, why don't I just upload them to Etsy and start selling them and see if I can make a little bit of extra income from that. The cool thing about Etsy is that you can sell pretty much any product, anything from mugs, t-shirts, hats, phone cases, yoga mats, water bottles. Honestly, the limit does not exist on what type of product you could be selling on Etsy. But you do have to have at least one small skill in order to sell products on Etsy, whether that be graphic design, woodworking skills and sell those, or be a painter and sell your paintings. And so you do have to have some skills in order to get started selling products on Etsy. I will also say that getting an Etsy store set up is pretty easy. You literally just go to Etsy.com and you can scroll all the way to the bottom and click sell on Etsy, and it will take you through how to get started selling on Etsy. And honestly, it was super, super easy. You just need to create an account, and it's very, very intuitive. Now, as far as how easy it is to actually get started, I'm giving this one 4 stars because you do have to have some sort of skill or something that you can make and start listing that product or thing on Etsy. However, once you do have that, it is so easy to get your Etsy listings and your Etsy storefront set up. So that's why it's pretty high on the easy scale rating. And for potential upside, I'm giving this 5 stars because Etsy is basically kind of a passive income source, kind of depending on what your product is, but especially if you're doing something like print on demand or digital downloads, once you have the product made and live on site, you pretty much don't have to do anything else and you can just let it go. And if you're selling a physical product that you're making, you can basically sell as many as you can make. So it's really just a great way to get your products out to the world and start generating income. I think making around $500 a month from Etsy is pretty reasonable. For a hypothetical breakdown, let's say you have a t-shirt. Your t-shirt you're selling for $20. Your profit margin on that t-shirt is $10. So you would only have to sell about 50 t-shirts per month in order to make $500 a month on Etsy. All right, side hustle idea number 2 is dog sitting or dog walking. And this is again one that we started doing actually back in December. So right before I got laid off, I honestly started doing Rover because I was like, I want to make a little bit of extra cash on the side for some spending money. And then it was actually a good thing that I started doing Rover because then I got laid off like a month later. But if you don't want to do dog sitting and have dogs in your house all the time, you could also do dog walking. We use Rover for dog sitting, but you can also use the app called Wag for dog walking instead. So as far as skills required in order to be a dog walker, dog sitter, you kind of just have to like animals and be good with pets. And same thing for kind of dog walking. You You maybe don't need to have a ton of experience with dogs, but you do need to be able to physically handle maybe a big dog or dogs that are pulling a lot on walks and things like that. Overall, I would say if you are not a dog person, this one is probably not for you, but it is a pretty easy way to start making money. For ease to get started, 5 stars. This was super easy, you guys. To get started, you can literally just go to rover.com, which is what Chris and I did, and sign up to become a sitter. It's honestly so easy. Like, it's so easy. And I'm pretty sure it's almost exactly the same for WAG. This one is kind of just a low-hanging fruit. If you have a yard, you have the space, you have the time, and you're home a lot, dog walking and dog sitting is a really, really easy one. Now, as far as potential upside, I'm only giving this one 2 stars. The reason I say this is it really just depends on how many dogs you're willing to sit, how many dogs you're willing to walk throughout the week. Personally, Chris and I, we only like to have 1, maybe 2 dogs per day because it just gets a little bit chaotic. We already have Doodle, and honestly, I don't want anything in my house ruined. I'm really just doing it for a little extra cash, not as like a main source of income. But you definitely could, if you really wanted this to be like your main thing, you could make a good amount of money on Rover. We currently charge about 50 bucks a day. So if I were to have 1 dog every single day for an entire month, I would make $1,500 a month. If you were willing to take 2 dogs at 50 bucks a day, then that doubles it to like 3 grand. So the upside is really just dependent on how many dogs you're willing to take, how many walks you're willing to go on, and what you're charging. That's still decent money, but again, I think the upside here is a little bit lower because it does physically take your time and energy to watch a dog or take it for a walk. All right, side hustle number 3, and this one is affiliate marketing. If you don't know what affiliate marketing is, basically all it is a referral link or something like that is created for you that's unique to you, and when you give it to your friends, family, YouTube subscribers, Instagram followers, whatever, when people click on that link and actually completely check out and buy the product, you get a small percentage of commission essentially from their purchase. I basically started doing this in 2 different ways. One is through Like to Know It. Shameless plug, if you're not following me on Like to Know It, go follow me there. And the other one is through the Amazon Associates program. And I do happen to know that there's lots of other ways to get into affiliate marketing, but that's a whole different video. So with Like to Know It, it's really much more focused on kind of like clothing, home products, things like that. So people post, you know, a picture of themselves and they tag the products, and then if somebody goes and buys that product, you would get, you know, different commission rates from each company or brand that is tagged within the photo. So it's pretty straightforward. Similarly, with Amazon Associate program, you basically just have links to products on Amazon, and if somebody buys that product, you get a very small on Amazon commission from somebody buying it. I would say skills required for this one are pretty minimal. You basically just need to be able to convince your friends, families, followers, etc. to buy things. So if you're a convincing person, this might be a good one for you. As far as ease to get started, I'm giving this one 5 stars. I honestly think it was so easy to set up my Like to Know It account as well as my Amazon Associates account. So for Like to Know It, I think you literally just could go LTK creator, and that will take you to the apply to become an LTK creator. You can apply now, and honestly, the application is pretty simple. You just fill out some information about yourself. You will need to have public social media presence, so make your Instagram not private for your YouTube channel or whatever. So it's super easy to sign up and apply, and similar to the Amazon Associates program, you can literally just Google Amazon Associates program and apply basically on here as well. And when I click in here, you can see that I have made a lofty $1.75 from my Amazon affiliate program. But you know, I'm still a really small YouTuber. I don't really push my Amazon affiliate links very much. So on that topic, I will give the potential upside here 3 stars. I will say that you're influential if you have a large following on social media, then it could definitely be a 5 stars. But if you're just kind of like a random person, an average Joe like me, you have a small following on social media, you're not gonna make a ton of money, I don't think, from something like this. I do think it is something though that you could definitely scale over time. On my Like to Know It, I've made a little bit more, so I've only made about $40 altogether from my affiliate links. But again, if you did have a larger audience, or if you were really actively working on this to grow it over time, I think you could make around $100 a month doing this. Again, this is a much smaller one, so I'm only giving it 3 stars. I've watched some other YouTubers videos on like how much money they make from affiliate marketing, and you can honestly make like thousands and thousands of dollars if that is like your your main strategy. So affiliate marketing is a really solid one. All right, next side hustle idea is freelance work. So I did kick this off this year and didn't really pursue it beyond like creating some listings. Essentially, I created my listings in copywriting because I do have some kind of marketing and copywriting skills. And kind of the way that this works is if a company doesn't have an internal employee or something like that, they might be looking for somebody to just put together, you know, their website. An individual might hire a person to like proofread their resume and things like that. So there's all sorts of little kind of like freelance odd jobs type of thing that you can do. Some skills required for this, I would say you do need to have a few skills in writing or reading or proofreading or video editing or whatever. So as far as how easy it is to get started, I'm giving this one 3 stars. You can use tools like, let's say, Fiverr as well as Upwork to create different freelance gigs that you are offering. But if we go into Fiverr, again, you can kind of see like all of the different types of services that you could offer. So if it's within writing, you could do, you know, sales copy, and you can see all of the different things that people are offering within sales copy. So there's tons of different skills that you can essentially sell as a freelancer and make decent money doing this. But I only give it 3 stars because look at how many services are available within video editing. I mean, the competition here is really high, and in order to get to a point where this is like making you anything, I think you would really need to either be doing something really unique or somehow be standing out on these websites like Fiverr and Upwork. Similarly, for potential upside here, I'm also giving this 3 stars. The reason I say that is because even though it's kind of like you can take as many gigs as you want and you can charge as much as you want, you would kind of have to do a lot in order to make good money doing this. So for example, if I went into the sales copy tab, I mean, we're talking about anywhere from this one's $100 to like $5. And how are you going to stand out if there's people offering the same service as you for $5? If I go back to the video editing tab, a lot of these are charging $10 a minute, $10 a minute, $20 per minute, $25 a minute. And then there's some down here that are even like $5 a minute. So let's just assume you're at the low end in order to stay competitive. If you were to edit a 10-minute video at $5 a minute, that's $50 per video. And let's say you can do 10 of those videos per month. Now you can make $500 a month just editing videos for other people. So this one can really vary a lot, and there is definitely some upside here, but I do think it takes a little bit of effort to kind of get yourself established, but it is a really solid option if you have skills like video editing, copywriting, and things like that. All right, side hustle number 5 is this one right here, the thing that you guys are watching, which is YouTube. YouTube is obviously for me right now kind of my main hustle, but it is definitely something that anybody could start doing as more of a side hustle. But you could put out maybe like 1 video a week or 1 video every other week and start building an audience over time and ultimately get your channel to a point where it gets monetized, which basically means that YouTube is paying you in order to put ads on your videos, and it ultimately kind of becomes a source of passive income because once you have your video out there and live and you're monetized, it can just continue to generate money over time. So this is one that I think everyone should be doing. I wish that I had started a YouTube channel sooner, honestly. And you can start a YouTube channel about anything. Obviously, I post kind of like lifestyle content, but you could post anything from recipes and cooking to specifically about like working out to day in your life vlogs, kind of like what I like to do, or travel. There's just so many different things that you can make YouTube videos about, and honestly, I feel like everyone should be doing it. As far as skills required, you can definitely get better at making YouTube videos and editing over time. You can also hire people to edit your videos, like we were just talking about on that freelancing website. So for how easy it is to get started, I am giving this 2 stars because it does take some time, energy, and effort to get started, and you do need to have, some skills as far as like being confident in front of the camera, or if you're showing, cooking recipes and things like that, you're gonna obviously need to know how to cook and have cooking recipes, So it does take a little bit of effort to get started, but I also will say you can start recording with your iPhone, you can start just editing on free software in iMovie, and I actually made like a whole video, which I will link up there somewhere, about how I got started and all the tools I used to get started. And you can kind of see it doesn't have to be super complicated, but it is going to take some time for your channel to scale. But I will give the potential upside here 5 stars, because honestly, the amount of views you can get on YouTube is endless. You could go viral for like any type of video, who knows? And once your videos are monetized, you can make a lot of money from doing this, you guys. It is insane. I mean, I am talking millions, like millions of dollars you can make. I have watched other creators' videos on how much money they make on YouTube, and just seeing that some creators literally make like $100,000 a month or $200,000 a month. Like, that is just like insane to me. And that's just from ads. You can also make money as a YouTuber through brand deals, but I would say somebody with kind of like a moderate following, let's say maybe like 20 to 25,000 followers, might make around $1,500 to $2,000 a month just from their YouTube ads. Honestly, that's like where I'm trying to be. I'm obviously not there yet, but again, as your channel grows, the potential upside here really is endless. So quick pause. Those are the 5 side hustle ideas that I have tried so far since being laid off this year. But now I'm going to share 5 more ideas for you guys. These ones I have not tried. A few of them I really want to try, and I will let you know which ones those are. But hopefully these are some different ideas. They might be easier, lighter lift for some people. All right, so side hustle number 6 is getting into doing things like a delivery service, for example, like Grubhub, or just being like an Uber driver. I'm just kind of blanketing those kind of driver services into one category. This is an obvious one. This is something that we all use on a daily basis. It's a great way to, you know, spend a few extra hours in your evening if you have free time to go, you know, deliver food orders and pick people up on Uber. As far as skills needed, obviously you just need to be a good driver and have a car. I will give this 5 stars on how easy I think it is. However, I will say that the potential upside on this one is very low. I will give this one 1 star. I was doing some research before this video, and honestly, Uber drivers and all that, they really don't make that much money. I was seeing a range, and the average kind of being around $15 an hour. It may vary based on where you live. Let's say you were to do this for 1 hour per day, just during the work week. That would mean 5 hours per week or 20 hours per month, and that would bring your total potential income from being a driver to about $300 a month. All right, side hustle number 7 is to become either like a personal assistant or a virtual assistant. I think the cool thing about potentially becoming a virtual assistant for somebody is the fact that you can do that from anywhere. And that's one thing that I really value, is being a remote worker, being able to go travel and work on the go if I need to. Virtual assistants or personal assistants can do anything from admin work, project management, bookkeeping, answering emails, customer service, content creation. It can really be like a wide variety. As far as skills I think that you would need for this, just being organized and being able to kind of like stay on top of your tasks. As far as how easy it is to get started, this is another thing that you can actually search for on Fiverr. So just to pull up really quick, you can search for a virtual assistant. And yeah, there's tons of people offering this service as a virtual assistant. A lot of them $10, $20. There's kind of, again, a wide range here. But, you know, this is one where you are going to have to put in your time, help somebody else be, you know, organized, help somebody else with their business. But it is generally, you know, work from home and part-time. I was seeing anywhere from like $15 to $25 per hour. So let's say you're kind of like smack in the middle of that and making about 18 bucks an hour, and you're doing 10 hours per week as a virtual assistant. That means in a month you could be making about 700 bucks a month, which is pretty solid if you ask me. And because of that, I'm giving this one 3 stars. It's kind of right in the middle. It's not bad money, but it does take your time and energy, and the payout is kind of, I would say, mid to low end, but it's something that you could do if you had an extra 10 hours per week to do something and you wanted to do it from the comfort of your own home. All right, so my next idea is to create online courses. This is one that I actually really want to kind of experiment with and try and learn. There are tons of resources out there that you can start using in order to create online courses. I'm just gonna Google how to create an online course, and you can see all these different resources and platforms that offer this type of thing. I just think that this is a really cool way, especially if you already have a skill like cooking. You could create a whole course about how to make certain different meals. My husband is Italian, and so he could make authentic Italian meals. That's a really cool idea, I think. I would say the skills that you need for this, obviously you're gonna need to have a certain skill skill that you know in order to create an online course. So as far as how easy it is to get started, I would give this one honestly probably like 4 stars, because other than just knowing a skill and already having a skill, getting it set up here on Teachable and Kajabi and all these other platforms that already just exist for you to like create your online course, I think it would be pretty easy to get this one started, which is why I want to give this one a shot. As far as potential upside, I'm giving this one 5 stars, because as I click into some of these, I just clicked a random one, I don't know, hand lettering. This person is charging $397 for this course, $249, like that's expensive. Let's go into maybe academics. These look like little bundles, but anywhere from, this one is $30 up towards $300. So honestly, these online courses can seriously go for anywhere from like 50 bucks, 30 bucks, all the way upwards to like 300, 350, like whatever you're charging. And so I think that the upside here is really big. And also once you have your online course made, it's kind of like put a bow on it, you're done. It kind of becomes passive income. So that's a really, really cool thing for me as well. I'm gonna go on the low end here of the online courses. Let's say you're selling your online course for like $50. You would only need to sell like 10 of those per month to make $500. And again, if you have a course for like $300, you would only need to sell 1 of them to make $300 a month. Or if you sold 3 of them, you would almost be making $1,000 a month just from your online courses. So the potential upside here is really, really big. All right, side hustle number 9. Side hustle number 9, almost there, you guys. This one is to kind of create either an online store or just like having products online. This is really similar to like what I used to do with my side business, Ballard Bikini. There's lots of different ways that you can do this. I personally used to use Shopify. Shopify is very easy to get set up, but you will need to either like have products that you're selling. One way that I've seen a lot of like YouTube creators or people like me making money through online products is like selling merch. But yeah, you could really just like start an entire, you know, business or side hustle, selling products and creating an online boutique, or like I was doing swimwear. So honestly, the options here are endless, but I will say it is pretty easy to get started, but it is really hard to scale. Skills that you would need for this one are creating a product. Again, that could be pretty easy if you're doing like a boutique or just like merch, and some web design skills to get your website set up. As far as how easy it is to get started, I'm giving this 3 stars because I do think that it is pretty easy to get set up, but in order to kind of like start making really good monthly consistent income is a lot harder, and you're really gonna have to scale in order to get it there. But I will say that the potential upside on this is pretty high. I will give this a 4 stars because I was selling bikinis at like 50 bucks a pop, and selling 10 bikinis, especially during summer, was pretty easy to do. But of course, depending on what your product is, the upside could be way higher. You could be making, you know, $10,000 a month just selling products on your online websites. All right, the last one, you guys. So side hustle number 10 is starting a podcast. And this is another one that I actually really want to do. What I really want to do is start it with Chris and have us make like a couples podcast. It wouldn't necessarily have to be about like our relationship or anything like that, but I just thought it would be kind of fun for him and I to work on something like that together. Anyways, I think podcasts sound super fun to make. The skills, I would say you need to be able to be a little bit chatty, kind of be able to be bubbly. I would say also be able to kind of, you know, edit audio. But that's pretty much it. Not a ton of skills. As far as how easy it is to get started, I'm pretty sure starting a podcast is super easy. All you need is some like recording software, which pretty much everybody's computer and or phone has these days. But you can literally, again, Google how to start a podcast. And the first one is Spotify, and you can literally just like start making a podcast on Spotify. So it seems pretty easy to get started. I'm giving this one like a 4 out of 5. I think pretty much anybody could start a podcast. It seems really, really easy to do. And as far as potential upside here, I will say this one is a little bit lower. I'm only giving this 2 stars. The reason for that is because as far as I'm aware, the main way that you make money from a podcast is essentially getting like brand sponsorships and brand deals where a company is willing to pay you, let's say $100 during your podcast to say something about their company and what they're doing and why your listeners should use that company. And I think in order to get to that point, you really do need to be able to scale your podcast and get it to a point where, you know, a company or advertiser would be willing to pay anything in order to have you mention their company or products in your podcast. So this one is a little bit harder to make money and scale, so I am only giving it 2 stars. All right, you guys, so that was the 10 side hustle ideas that I had today. And all of those together, if you were to just do all of those, it could all make you at least $6,200. And I say at least because remember I talked about like like Rover, if you took 2 dogs, you could be making double. If you grew your YouTube channel even bigger, you could definitely be making more than $1,500 a month. If your online courses did really well, you could be making thousands of dollars from your online courses. So this is kind of like the minimum that you could definitely be making by implementing these side hustles. But you guys, those were the 10 side hustle ideas that I had for you today. Honestly, as I was putting this video together, I thought of a few more. So if you want to see a part 2, please do let me know in the comments box. And if you enjoyed this video and want to keep hearing, side hustle ideas and maybe a little bit more of like financial things from me, please do let me know by hitting that thumbs up button, because it just helps me know what videos you guys like to see from me. But overall, I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I will see you guys for my next video. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out the link above where I've linked more videos like this.